Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you today with Batman 128. And this is the fourth part of Failsafe, and I'm enjoying the ride. It's very high octane action, and the artwork is just absolutely amazing. But before we dive into this, let's talk about the credits. And of course, the credits have to be in the back. So as I said, Failsafe Part 4, this is Chip Zdarsky writing, Jorge Jimenez doing the art, Tomu Morey doing colors, Clayton Cowles doing the lettering. Here's everyone else working on the book. And of course, Batman was created by Bill Finger with Bob Kane, and Superman was created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Now, with that said, last issue, we saw Batman brought right to the brink of death, and they introduced Superman. And anytime we get to see the world's finest together, you're just like, yes, we know we're in for a good time. But after all the praise that I just gave this book, there's a trope that is going to chap my hide. But before we start talking about that, let's talk about the positives that will make you want to pick up this book. So here, we're getting the perspective, obviously, of Bruce. And he says Clark plays it like the angry dad, coupled with no sudden movements. He's trying to assess Failsafe's abilities. The X-ray once over. Useless, thanks to the lead that I surely built into it. He's worried that one false move and Failsafe will finish the job. But God help me, if I designed it, then he should be worried about himself. And of course, kryptonite. And as he's going, Batman again says, Clark's smart. He's playing it at a distance. Failsafe knows this. And as that happens, Superman gets injured in a way, and here comes Ollie. And man, I wish that I could find a good Green Arrow series, because I love reading Oliver Queen. If you guys know a good volume of Green Arrow to read, let me know. And speaking of Green Arrow, does anyone know, I know this happened pre-Flashpoint, but now that we're in sort of past Rebirth and we're in, Infinite Frontier, does anyone know if Dinah and Ollie are still in a relationship? I'm hoping so. I hope Dan Didio did not screw that, so we'll see. And again, also love whenever we see John. I'm not too much of a fan of his new design since the New 52, but nonetheless, John Jones is one of my favorite Justice League members, and I wish someone would do something with him that would be interesting, because he deserves his own solo book, and it's just awesome. Now, of course, the world's finest is down for the count, thanks to Failsafe, and everybody's just getting their ass kicked. And I love how Ollie helps Robin get Superman and Batman out of the fight. He goes, "Gotta stop this thing." And you really think that Justice League has a shot without Green Arrow? Come on, you bastard. My headache owes you. And that's why I love Ollie, is he's just very much the, I don't care. I'm going to jump into the fight and you can just bite me. And that's just what makes him a very interesting character. And I think that's also kind of why I like John Constantine, because he's prone to do the right thing, but sometimes not the right means, and sometimes he may push people away, and it just makes for an interesting story. Now, Dick, being the prodigy of Batman, notices that Failsafe's not following the jet that's carrying Superman and Batman, but instead is leading all the Justice League and the Bat family to a certain area in Gotham. What area is that? You're going to have to read the story. But yeah, it's a little bit like a surprise. Now that we've kind of talked about how this is interesting, how Failsafe is just kicking everyone's butt, and that we get the Justice League. Yeah. This is what I hate. So, Batman. He can be written really great, very kind of meh, or in this case, well, first, let me get one more positive thing here. So Bruce knows that he has to go out on his own, and he goes, "You're Robin. You'll save them. I'm proud of you, Tim, of the man you've become." So I love how Zdarsky, again, is able to hit that emotional resonance with Batman like he did with Daredevil, like he's done with Spider-Man. But I think what's kind of wearing on me, but still makes for a good read, is how they're making Batman OP. Again, overpowered. Bruce is smart, but he's not God. Let me put it that way. And what I mean by that, if you go back and you read, God, what's his name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Not Mark Miller. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But if you go back and read the mid-90s Tower of Babel, that's when they first kind of introduced how Bruce built contingency plans to take out the Justice League in case they ever went evil. However, they portrayed Bruce being weak and unable to overtake Ra's al Ghul, who has taken all of his quote-unquote fail-safes. So it made Bruce very vulnerable in that story, as where here it's showing, oh, I'm going to flip into the Batman of Zur-En-Ra. Oh, if I just open my chakra or whatever they want to call it, I'm able to heal myself. Stuff like that. Batman's not overpowered. He's super freaking smart, but you have to really balance those two lines. And again, there are some parts in Scott Snyder's Batman run that made him look OP. This one's shown to make him look a little overpowered, but nonetheless, I like that. They do at least show that he's human, as where his body is almost broken. But as he's going, he's like, oh, I can't go into unconsciousness. I just have to shut it off. Stuff like that. Shut up. No. It just really starts to show that Batman's too much. But nonetheless, all that aside, something happens with Failsafe and Gotham. And I love this little homage to Batman v Superman. Very cool design. But as we go through, it's like, what are you going to do, Bruce? What are you going to do to save Gotham? And that's sort of where the story ends. And then we kind of get this really cool backstory, and I like that they use that Pulp Fiction look for the Batman of Zur-En-Ra. And at first, I'm not a big fan of this Zur-En-Ra stuff where Bruce creates a failsafe in his mind in case he's ever gone on a mental attack. I appreciate how Grant Morrison used it in Batman R.I.P., but when it just keeps getting used over and over, there's just some things that need to die. Batmite, Zur-En-Ra, a lot of that Silver Age stuff just needs to go away. Now, with that said, I do like this juxtaposition that this backstory brings, asking if Batman and the Joker are both broken and why. So as I said, setting aside the fact that Batman feels a little too powerful in this run, the idea of what failsafe is, and even though, let me kind of clarify this, even though it shows Batman overpowered, I like that failsafe is more powerful and is kind of screwing Bruce at every corner. But the whole thing about being able to just take out the entire Justice League like that was just a bit much. It worked in Tower of Babel, and it kind of, I felt, was a little off, but nonetheless, being able to see the Justice League in this story was awesome. I kind of wish that Wonder Woman, I wish we could have seen Diana, but nonetheless, great story. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is you like to pick up books and grab this issue. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little Zur-En-Ra bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.